Hello there, how are you? You know, a question I get asked a lot is how do you stop the arguments? And as you would know, arguments are horrible. You feel really uncomfortable, you've got an energy, it makes you exhausted, you feel unmotivated. It's just not a nice place to be. So what I'm going to talk about today is learning how to move that energy inside of your body. How do you recognize that anger in your body, being able to unhook from the numbness, and then how, once you've done all that, being able to communicate with your partner, being able to let them know where you're at. So, where are we going to go first? When you have an argument, have you noticed that, you know, the adult you goes out the door? Have you noticed that if you actually put an age to it, you could be 6, you could be 12, you could be 18. That is a really interesting process to notice the age you're being when you're arguing. It can trigger this real altered state in us where we can become quite childlike. So if you want to stop the arguments, you first of all have to bring it back to yourself and notice what's actually going on in yourself. And look, what I've seen as a therapist is for a lot of people, they either go into fight, flight, or freeze. So if we go into fight, coming out with the boxing gloves and there's this just real energy. If you go into the freeze, you shut down. And I know personally, I used to do a fair bit of shutting down. I used to call it my oozy, comfy couch. And if I was to describe the energy inside, it was black and like treacle-like. And in a sick way, I used to just sit in that. And then there's also, we've got fight, flight, freeze. What have I said so far? The flight, I'm out of here. So it's being able to recognise how to, in the arguments, you first of all got to be really honest with yourself. Honest, do you do fight? Do you do flight? Do you do freeze? And this isn't a judgment. It's actually noticing in yourself what you do. And then it's recognising, well, where has this come from? And I'm not going to go deep into where it's come from, but there's no other relationship on the planet than your intimate relationship to trigger your wounding. If you are arguing and it's escalated and you're going for gold, you've really got to question, all right, I've gone from 0 to 10 real quick, or I've shut down, or I'm in the flight. What's going on for me? It's the quality of questions you ask yourself. And if you want to reduce the arguments in your relationship, you have to check in with yourself first. What's actually going on for me? You've got to recognise your own feelings. And I know for myself, particularly in my younger years, I couldn't do that at all. I couldn't name what I was feeling. But the key is if you are arguing, what we do when we are arguing, it's like we're throwing mud, we're throwing hand grenades, we're just blaming, we're attacking, we're criticising. If you're on the receiving end of all of that coming at you, are you going to go, yes, dear? Yes. Well, you may if you've got a mask up and you're a pleaser and you just want to please them. But for a lot of us, we can feel quite agitated and frustrated and attacked and criticised. And we want to either defend ourselves, attack back. So, without going into any more detail around that, it's recognising what is going on for you. You know, people say, well, it takes 2 to argue. Well, actually, I don't believe that. It's about one of you doing it differently. One of you noticing and recognising what's going on in the body. okay, I'm feeling anger. Where in the body am I feeling that? And you actually have to learn how to take time out as a couple to be able to get to that place to recognize time out. And being able to take time to check in with your body is key here. So it's checking in with the body and allowing the emotion to be here. So we're not good at that. We aren't good at that at all. And yeah, if you're watching this live, would love to hear from you. Just pop a comment into the comment space. And if you're watching the replay, I'd also love to hear from you. But coming back to, I'm losing my train of thought here for a moment. Okay, arguments. Recognizing what is going on for you. If it's getting too escalated, you call for time out. It's learning. It's learning how to take time out, because often couples don't do this well. There could be a pursuer and a distancer. And if you are needing that time out, it's being able to call for that. And when you're calm, that's the key. Being able to do that when you're calm. So take time out, recognize in your body what's going on, allow it to be in the body, allow it to be there. You know, often when we're in this space, a bit of drinking, a bit of food, a bit of social media, a bit of pot, whatever it is, whatever your vice is, so you don't have to feel. But that's not going to achieve a thing, because you're just numbing it all down. So it's allowing it to be in the body. And then investigating, okay, what's going on here? Where's this come from? Is it a present day thing, or is something from way back been triggered? You know, it is the quality of questions you ask yourself. And if you're sick of the constant fighting and the sadness that comes with this, you've got to do it differently. It is about investigating, exploring, and really asking yourself the quality questions. You know, something I hear a lot is people feel really lonely and really empty in their marriage. I talked about that on last week's live, about being lonely in your marriage. So loneliness and emptiness, it's being able to nurture yourself first. So if you can recognize what you're feeling, allow it to be here, investigate where is it coming from, investigating why you're feeling like you're feeling, and then being able to nurture yourself, being able to give yourself love, time, space, even to be able to just breathe. Because it's being able to regulate the nervous system. It's being able, I didn't realize I still had my glasses on. It's being able to come back down into calmness. Because from that space, you're going to be less likely to throw mud back, less likely to attack, to criticize. And you know, that is exhausting. And in a relationship, if you're doing that constantly, gosh, that puts a huge amount of strain on the relationship. So it's really, really important in a relationship, in a marriage, that on a daily basis, you can talk about where you're at, how you're feeling, what's going on for you. And I cannot tell you the amount of people that I work with who talk about not being able to share that with their partner, not creating the space and the time. So in a relationship, it is about being able to create rituals where you can share your inner world. It is crucial to be able to share your inner world. Look, this is your intimate partner that you have chosen to, I'm going to say, perhaps grow old with, or perhaps raise a family with. And you've got to put the energy and the time into it. So if you want to, let me go back to this, if you actually want to end the arguments, you've got to get a skill set. You've got to update the tools. And having the same tools that you had as a teenager, a young adult, perhaps someone in your 20s, that isn't going to support you in an argument. You know, if your partner is firing hand grenades at you and then you fire them back, that's not going to achieve a thing. And you're also role modelling, particularly if you've got little ones, role modelling how not to communicate. It's being able to slow down. It's being able to investigate initially what's going on yourself first. Then, you know what I've seen? When couples can create a really safe space, a safe container, because your intimate relationship is a sacred space for you to share your inner world with. And if you are not able to discuss things and be able to be really honest, that creates a bit of a backlog. And that backlog, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, and a little bit, it then comes out in an argument, because that is the only way that you as a couple know how to do conflict. You know, I was at a networking meeting this morning and I said, who's in a relationship and have you ever had arguments, and do you do arguments? And it was a bit of like, no. Some of them, yes. But you know what? In a healthy relationship, there will be arguments, but for it not to escalate to a place where it's just so toxic. And it's learning the skills, and it's being able to recognize your emotions inside your body. You know, I was raised, I've got 9 siblings, and my mum and dad never did conflict. So when I got into my marriage and my ex-husband would do arguments, I freaking didn't know what to do with it, because I'd never really experienced it before, never been on the receiving end, I'd never seen it. So it's learning how to do conflict. But when arguments and you're throwing hand grenades, that is not healthy. So if you want to feel alive, vital, and energized in your relationship, it's learning how to do conflict. So 1, recognize in your body what's going on. And if you need time out, learning how to do that. But recognize what you're feeling in your body, the anger and all that's going on. 2, to allow it. Allow it to be there. Don't vice it down with your smoking, your vicing, your alcohol. 3, actually investigate, where is this coming from? Is it way back in the past, or is it present day stuff that you haven't had the courage to actually share with your partner? And the last part is to nurture yourself. With you doing all of this, you can then go, hey, can we have a discussion about what happened last night? And to have an adult relationship and to calmly share your inner world, and for you both to be able to get to that place. Look, it all sounds absolutely wonderful, doesn't it? I really, really get that. But it's the quality of questions. I've got a great sheet or worksheet on saying yes to you with quality questions. Direct message me, I'll send it to you. That could be a really helpful tool if you're listening to this and you can really resonate. But it's about letting go of any shame that you may have around the arguments. And it's okay, today is a new day. You can change this, and this is an opportunity. So arguments are an opportunity to change. And change, yeah, it's uncomfortable. You're going to feel resistance. You're going to feel uncomfortableness, but you can. And, my tagline is the power of change is within you, because it is. And it's slowing down long enough And also having that inside of you that actually, yeah, I really want to change this. I don't want to argue with my partner. And so one of you can begin this, and it be the change that you want in this relationship, and it can have a ripple effect through to your partner. So look, I really hope this has been helpful. Message me, let me know. This skill, if you can learn this can set you up for the rest of your life. It really can. Anyway, on that note, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you next week. See ya.